Hi everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the block puzzle cube and kind of the layout of this. So this is going to be the design process that we need to go through with this. Usually we would be doing this on like graph paper and sketching, but because so many people are like working from home instead of here at school and I can't really get that worksheet to everybody, we're going to start doing this in Onshape. So if you go to the Shared With Me tab, right, I have lots of things shared with me, but you have much less. You really should be able to find this thing probably pretty easy, but if you select the modified, this will just bring up whatever was done last. So you're going to go below your folders, and you should see something in here that's called Copy of Puzzle Cube Layout. It's going to look, it's going to have different colors in here, but you're going to click on this. Okay, and you guys are not going to be able to edit this. So you're going to go to the 3 lines, and we're going to say copy workspace, and we are going to copy this, and let's just call this like block puzzle, and say OK. All right, and that's going to produce your own version of the block puzzle. Now, the next step that you need to go through is you need to find that block puzzle. So I'm going to go back into my Onshape. Again, yours is going to be a lot less crowded than mine. But now inside of here, you should have block puzzle. So we're going to right click on this, and we're going to say move to, and you are going to select your folder, wherever my folder is here. Okay, so there's my folder. Again, yours will be a lot easier to find, but I'm going to say move here. Okay, so now when I go into my folder, and when I open up block puzzle, I have it right there. Now, this is something that I had Mr. McDermott share back with me. I have made a change in this. So your block puzzle, when you open it, instead of being blue, it's going to be all of these different colors. But it's the same idea. You're going to go into the shared folder, find it just the way that I had. So this is going to be the basis of our block puzzle. Again, our block puzzle is going to be 3 blocks long, 3 blocks deep, and 3 blocks high. If we go over to the side here, there's 3 things that say do not edit, and then there's another option here that says can edit distance from 0.375 to 1 inch. So if I double click on that, right now it's at 0.75 inches, but if I change this to 0.375 and I hit enter, that collapses my cube down to like what it's going to really look like in real life. Okay, but then when I go through to extend this cube to 0.75 just works well in my opinion to see in the cube. This allows you to see like the interior 3 cubes as well, you know, and we can see like multiple cubes within here. So when we go and start with this thing here, we're going to go through and start to change and design like our different shapes. Alright, so once again here, you guys are going to need to have 5 puzzle pieces. Each piece needs to have 4 to 6 blocks to make it up. The pieces must interlock to form the puzzle, and we cannot repeat puzzle pieces. Alright, so when we go back to this, you know, again, this is going to take a little while even just to lay out the puzzle. Honestly, this is a lot of the project. It's just figuring out how you're going to lay out your pieces, because each part needs to be its own individual part, and we need to consume everything, and you know, as you start going through this, you're going to realize that like you've left maybe a block someplace that you can't get to anymore, and then you're going to have to change your design somewhat, right? So that's the point right now, is designing our different pieces. So in order to design our pieces, and again, we need 5 pieces, you're going to change the color of each of these blocks to be like 5 different colors, ultimately, to form your pieces. So like if I right click on this piece here, I can say edit appearance for this part, and I can say, okay, I want this piece to be red, right? And then maybe I want this thing to go into the middle, so I'm going to say edit appearance for part 5, and I'm going to change this to red. And then maybe I want to like turn up into the second row, so I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to change that to be red. You know, and maybe I do that up here too. Maybe lastly, I do that with this piece right here as well.
Attention all Shaker Junior High School students, it is now.
Okay, so now I can look at my red piece here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. So that is in between 4 and 6, right? So you can either have puzzle pieces with 4 blocks, puzzle pieces with 5 blocks, or puzzle pieces with 6 blocks. You're going to need a combination of them all. This particular puzzle piece has 5 blocks. You know, and if I were again to collapse this puzzle down to 0.375, because each of these blocks are 0.375 wide, we can start to see some of this red piece, right? We can see the red piece in the bottom. We know that the red piece is coming up through the center, and then it's coming out to here. So that would be like, let's say, my red piece. Then I could get started on my next piece. And honestly, I think that we can select multiples. Let's see if we can do this. Edit appearance for 5 parts. Yeah, so I can come through and I can actually change all of those at the exact same time, right? And now that would be my blue piece. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then I could start working on, you know, another piece that I need to work on and start going through. So in the end, you're going to have only 5 different colors on here. They're going to be parts that touch one another, right? Like we can't have blue down here and then blue like in this back corner with nothing connecting them, right? They all need to, when we go to collapse this thing, they all need to touch. And they all need to meet the criteria as we move forward. Okay, so again, criteria is the stuff that's located right here. 5 puzzle pieces, 4 to 6 blocks. They must interlock. We cannot repeat pieces. So that brings me to my last point about like repeating pieces. Let's say that I put like an L up here. And I say, let's edit the appearance for this. And now, let's make this like some sort of a green. Because that L goes that direction, I cannot create like an L that goes in like a different direction. All right. So now you can see that I have like this blue L and this green L. Despite the fact that they go in different directions, they're still the same part. Okay, so I cannot repeat parts. I can't do the same like part 2 times. So I would need to go through and edit one of them to be different later on, right? So what that might be, I don't know. You'll have to take a look at like the way that your puzzle lays out, but you cannot repeat your puzzle pieces, okay? So that's the beginning to this process here. You guys start designing your own piece, and then we will start working on the next stuff after you have all of your pieces laid out within here. If you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help. All right, bye-bye.